There's a super important concept in the world of automation and controls called open versus closed loop systems, and today I'm going to explain the difference to you. And I won't get too lost in the sauce of my electronics, but the main brain I'm using is the Arduino Opta PLC. So I 3D printed this rotary table, which is basically a giant gear driven by a stepper motor. And in an open system or open feedback system, if I tape this flag so it's easier for you to track where on the table I am, and I target about here, so a quarter turn, there's nothing to tell me where the table is in space. So my program is just going to rotate it for 2 seconds when I push this button. And I know from testing that'll get me close, but there's nothing telling me its actual position in space. And I can keep pressing the button, and I can keep making the table turn 2 seconds at a time, but there's nothing actually telling me where it is. This is what makes it an open system. There's no feedback. But I can turn this system from an open system into a closed feedback system using this proximity sensor, sometimes called a photo eye, which is a sensor that detects when objects are in front of it, and you can see on the back with this little red light. So if I just slightly modify my code from turning for 2 seconds no matter what to turning until I see the proximity sensor, you can see that the table will turn more than 2 seconds until that sensor is made. And now it's a closed system, and I can change the target I want the table to turn to just by relocating that photo eye, which makes the entire system a lot more flexible and easy to change on the fly. I also have a real-world parameter that tells me something about the position of my table, rather than just sending commands into the void and hoping they work. So closed feedback loop systems are generally thought of as a little bit more robust, but one of the obvious cons is that they're also more expensive because you introduce a new component and a new sensor. And another potential con of a closed system is if that sensor were to fail, you could have a system that just goes forever. But you can address a lot of those situations with crafty programming. And open systems are really fine for stuff that's not safety critical because it's often the simplest solution. If you find this stuff interesting and you want to learn more, be sure to check out my YouTube channel because I'm doing long form tutorials on a lot of these concepts there.